Hey dolls, welcome back. Jamie Doll here. It's been a while, but this is a good place to join me. We are going to take the journey of exploring this infamous fake Rainbow High icon made popular by the one and only Jay. Those who know, they know. And for reasons of not getting my boo in trouble, I'm going to leave it right there. But he made Miss Settler, our AliExpress queen, the icon that she is. I was motivated to spend $45 in 2021 around December and wait for Miss Settler to become available. She had to come all the way from overseas China because I had plans to make her a very special character on my spinoff series of Rainbow High called More Happens at Rainbow High. So Settler, at least my Settler, was designed to be Sunny Madison. I mean, she was really too white, to be honest. But Jay had already done the Skylar knockoff version of Settler, so I went with Sunny to keep from being a complete copycat. Anywho, Settler Sunny's outfit was kind of decent out of box, although those boots looked like a knockoff for Raven Queen Dragon Game boots. But you know, we were going to transform her anyway, so I started looking at doll clothes I already had to see if I could turn our Settler Sunny into Mrs. Lou Wright from the official Monster High. So my first attempt to make Miss Lou was really not acceptable. I used black temporary hairspray paint to color her chopped locks, and that was a fail. It smudged off on her and left a bunch of nasty spots. It was a bad idea. So then I decided to use black human hair permanent dye, and that was also a no. It made her hair green, gummy, and oily to the touch. But I was desperate to get Miss Lou in my show, so she did end up making her debut. You can hear and see it above. Welcome, first years. Today begins a remarkable journey to the paradise of Rainbow High. You are to be diligent, study the principles of glam, grit, love, action, and moxie. First years really have the important job of impressing us, as it can easily become the end of your rainbow. Yeah, so let's get Miss Gummy Lou Wright out of her misery and to the end of her rainbow by giving her a much needed glow up. Alright dolls, step 1. We've dressed Settler Sunny Lou Wright, pick a struggle, you know, in Barbie's beautiful tropical bikini from one of the fashion packs, and she'll have this on through the duration of her makeover. We are laying Settler in a plastic bag, and we have our scissors. I've cut her hair down as low as possible to the scalp because she has long lashes and I'm left-handed. I didn't want to accidentally cutting her spider-like lashes, so I cut it like this, but lower is indeed preferred. You can see the greasy smudge marks and residue of her bangs on her forehead and the back of her neck area. She's even got some permanent smudge tattoos. Poor girl. Step 2. Okay, so for step 2, we are still prepping for our glow up. In this step, you want to cover your work surface with newspaper or towel, or in my case, a paper towel. Get yourself some Q-tips or swabs and a small paintbrush. You also need 100% pure acetone nail polish remover. And if you've got a nice manicure or an acrylic nail set, you might want to get some gloves. In my case, my fingernails look like roaches, and we're just going to disregard because I've been through a lot this week at work. So my hands are in pretty rough shape. So there's that. As you can see, I also had done a pretty poor job of coloring Settler's lips, this death bite red color. So yeah, that's got to go. You don't want to remove features that you want to keep, like eyebrows, so be careful not to drop acetone or anything in those areas, and you don't want to melt the eyes by dripping acetone in them or on them, alright? So take your time. This step is really about cleaning up the canvas, which in this case is Settler. Step 3. In this step, we are continuing the prep by pushing the doll's head down on the neck peg. This is to widen the hole. Then we're going to yank it off. I don't know about y'all, but that pop-off sound is satisfying. So this is when you're going to take your scraping tool and scrape out the remaining hairs by rubbing the tool back and forth on the inside of those plugs in the head. This step does require care and maybe some gloves. It can be painful to your hands and in some cases can create calluses. Some people use a flathead screwdriver, but personally I use the stainless steel letter opener. Just be careful not to puncture the scalp from the inside out, which can cause scalp splits. Alright, step 4. We're still on prep, y'all, but don't worry, we're getting there. I know it's a lot of work, but in the end, these steps do prepare you for the best glow up outcome. Despite your budget and your materials, which will ultimately make the difference, and to be honest, I chose to go the cheap route with Settler because truly, honestly, I already spent so much money and time on her trying to make her be what she wasn't because she just did not get the assignment. But she is special to me and she's iconic. But I did what was accessible, what was cheap, which is basically what I found in my beauty store around the corner. It's like a beauty dollar store, to be fair. So I've got 3 colors of hair that I'm choosing from, and I decided to get 3 matching acrylic paints that I had in my inventory to decide to paint her scalp. I'll explain that in the next step. This hair is basically a type of Kanekalon of some kind, but it had a nice sheen and curl to it, so I like it. I chose to go with black because I have this idea for how I want Settler to be. Step 5. Okay, so in step 5, we're actually going to mix our paint with Mod Podge, and the reason is to keep the paint from chipping once it's applied to Settler's head. Step 6. This is where we're actually going to paint the scalp. This is going to allow her rooting, no matter how thinly applied or not there it is, to appear that her hair is fuller because the base of her head will be the color of the hair. Do your best job to follow the natural hairline of the doll. In Settler's case, her hairline was too far back and too far up in the back, so I had to kind of adjust her hairline further down to where normal people's hairlines would be in the area of her face and around the sides to accommodate for that. So, common cheap knockoffs, they looked fake because of this, but we had to kind of correct that with the application that I'm showing here. It's important that we wait for the head to completely dry, so this will be all that I'm going to do for this day. I'm going to leave her in the doll room and allow her to dry overnight. Hello dolls, new day, step 7. Guess what? It's reroot time. Alright, so guess what? Settler's head dried beautifully. Now, while we're done with the initial prep, technically we are still prepping, but now we're preparing to put the hairs literally in her head. And this is by far the most tedious part. We need to re-poke holes in her head. The paint glue has made her scalp harder to penetrate, and therefore we do need to find a tool or something that will allow us to help make holes. I use a tool, something like a needle, but you can use something like a broken pin, a nail, or in this case, I have this eyelet tool for belts and leather. I just happen to have one of those laying around. I mean, don't you? I'm using it to repuncture some small holes around that hairline, and I'm also prepping my reroot tool with the size 8 pre-cut needles that came with the tool from the Doll Planet. Shout out to Rodney Rainbow for the Etsy link he sent me for the Doll Planet. Those folks over there are super cool and they are very, very, very customer friendly. Check them out. Okay, as an example, I have already rerooted about 5 plugs of hair, and I've separated them into little plugs. In this case, they're kind of big because of the type of hair it is. The hair you choose will determine the size of the pieces that you pick up to root. Keep that in mind. To be honest, I'm using human hair on a doll, which is a no-no. But again, this is Settler, so let me live. Okay guys, as if you didn't see the other 8 minutes of this video, take the rest of the video with a grain of salt because it took me over a week to finish this video. Work, life, balance, depression, paychecks, gas, blah, blah, blah. You can't see me right now, but take a look at the screen. So here's Settler. We're working on her. The thing with Settler is, of course, I painted her hair, and I painted her scalp rather, so it would be black to camouflage the bald spots that are gonna happen basically. But the thing I didn't anticipate is how hard her head is. I've broken 2 of my needles and I'm not interested in doing that. So what I wanted to show you is I'm using a tool, something else I made, a reroot tool that was a needle that broke. Happens to work perfectly because it's just big enough for me to make holes right here in her scalp. Her head is so hard. Technically, I could heat the head up, but I think that would do more harm than help. This is all I've done so far because it's such a tedious process. So first I have to create this hole in her head. I'm going to sit her hair right quick because it's difficult to record this and do this at the same time. But what I'm trying to show you is I've already separated the hairs, and the type of hair I'm using, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's some type of nylon. I also have on site a little dish of water, a little bit of hair in it already. And all I do is wet my fingertips like this and pick up the strands of hair that I have already separated. And I re-wet it a little bit because this helps it to stay in the reroot tool. Again, I'm trying to do this in front of the camera. I fold it across my finger and I pick up my reroot tool, which is this. Don't look at my cuticles because this is what happens from rerooting. It dries out your hands pretty bad, so prepare for that. And then trying to look at it on camera and in my hand, I picked it up with the scoop part of the needle. Now here's where it's going to get hard. I'm going to attempt to pull this out. There's the hole I just made before it closes up again. Oh Lord, I'm going to take my reroot needle, push it in, twist the cap, pull it out. That is the process of rerooting. So all those steps is what it takes just to get a few little strands in. And at this point, I've done this maybe about 30 times. If you look at the pores right here at the front of her head, and I had started on the back side thinking it would make me go quicker. Nope. It's a long process, so I'll be back when I've done a lot more, and hopefully when we're close to getting to the part line, which I plan to make because I wanted to have a kind of side part. I got to do this whole crown. This is where you put on a nice Netflix movie and or some classic Monster High, which is what I'm watching today. And I have the DVD player on my little Naxa portable TV here. So I'm about to go in. I'll see you guys soon. Okay, so what do you think? This is Setla. She's absolutely not done her reroot, but I did start part line and I haven't thatched it yet. Her reroot's going to take me a lot more time. Unfortunately, on my only day off, I just could not finish it and do everything else I needed to do to edit this video and get it up. But it's enough of a change to see how transformed she looks. She got a real thin ponytail going right now, but I think you get the point, right? Basically, she just looks better. Am I right? Am I right or am I right? All right, let's get her in a different environment so we can talk a little bit about Miss Setla's Glow Up Lookbook. So I have a bad habit of making beautiful crafts and having plans to finish things, and this poor Elena doll I found in the thrift store has been waiting on her remote to be finished for 3 years. This video, you are looking at Setla in a environment I quickly put together. So she's got a motorcycle, she plays drums, she's into aliens, she likes music, she likes records, she loves The Flash, she likes aliens. She lives in a pretty cramped little garage style place, kind of sort of just like me. She's my spirit animal, Purr. So our Setla doesn't wear Barbie. She's more of in her lane. She prefers Sparkle Girls, more her price point. So it's going to be tattered, fishnet, trashy looking stuff, stripes, little shorts. So I consider Setla to be similar in style to the real Rainbow High's Ainsley. And because Ainsley is supposed to be our dark-haired iconic queen, and she was somewhat of a fail to everybody, I happen to love her, but her hair wasn't really black. It's more of a purplish hue. She gives off that hard punk rocker emo chick that we wanted, just not quite hard enough. So in addition to Ainsley, I would say that Setla is a bit of Kenna Roswell also mixed in. Remember Kenna from the Kenna's from Wild Hearts crew. Remember that? So Kenna sort of kind of has some of the same personality traits that I would say I want Setla to have. We're going to rename Setla because Setla also has some of the qualities of Raleigh Radmore. Remember Raleigh? So these three ladies together encompass the personality style of, I would say, what I had in mind for Setla's glow up. I cannot get Rally to hang on. So hang on, ladies. With that being said, I'm going to decide that we're going to name Setla, let's call her Gothica. That's her new name. And she's sporting her newest look, the one that she rides her motorcycle in, the one that makes her the skinny legend that she is, and the one that does her zero justice as far as Rainbow High is concerned. But if I'm being honest, which face do you prefer? Just from removing the red lip from Setla, Gothica, look at her natural lip color after the red was removed. Now her original color was that pink, if you recall, but I don't know. I kind of love her. She's kind of doing it for me. I do need to finish her reroute, to be fair, so you can really get the full effect of her. But let's look at a little bit more of her lookbook. So she looks way stupid on her bike, but it's okay because she has one and I don't. So yeah. Our skinny legend is back, and Gothica is rocking this outfit. I think I like it more on her than the Bratz boots she's borrowing. This is actually a Barbie fashion pack. She has upgraded herself, and the only thing she's missing now is her pet cat, Whitey, because it's white, and Purr because Purr, because hold a cat, girl, hold a cat. My goodness, yeah. All right, and because this is the last look of the day in true dollar store pop icon style, we've got to summon our Inna Luna from Shadow High, because she would more than likely be a Shadow High type girl. Either way, she didn't make the cut. It is what it is. Guys, say hi to Gothica, buy the Setla Brown, but we all know deep down she is still the skinny icon. I thank you for watching this far if you did. If you hate it or if you love it, put a bomb symbol in the comments if you made it this far. I love you for watching. I'll see you soon. Jamie Doll out.